Good afternoon, and welcome to the Wednesday afternoon conference call with Trusts Unlimited. This is Jim George speaking. I'm the non-attorney spokesman and facilitator for Trusts Unlimited, and I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to our call. Today's January 10th, 2024. There's a lot to discuss. If the things we discuss on this call are of interest to you, I certainly hope you will subscribe to these calls and keep up with the information that we provide. Today's call is going to be a shorter call, largely because for the last few weeks we've really been slammed with requests for trust applications, information about our trusts. Existing clients want to amend trusts because they believe that something of a dramatic nature is going to be happening very shortly, and they want to make last-minute changes. We don't recommend you try to make changes if you really feel we're close to a given event, but we're happy to facilitate all of the requests as quickly as we possibly can. We're not moving as quickly as we'd like to move, but that's because of the volume of requests that we've had. So let's get into our call today. First, by way of disclaimer, Trusts Unlimited is not the purveyor of the dinar and these other currencies. We're not advocating either the sale or purchase of these currencies, but as rather substantial currency holders ourselves, we want to share with you the information we believe to be most relevant. Of course, what we're most concerned with is the reinstatement or revaluation of the dinar and some of these other currencies. A lot's been going on this week. A lot of information's out there. I have to operate, though, based on the disciplines in which I was trained. I have degrees in political science, macroeconomics, and finance. So while it's possible for the dinar to hit the 4x this month, there are reasons why it might be postponed a little bit longer. I do want to get into that. First, let me say that we all know that effective January 1st of this year, the USD has been outlawed for use by its citizens with the exception of travel outside of the country and medical expenses, and, of course, use by the government. So as far as I'm concerned, we've reached the point of no return for the reinstatement of the Iraqi dinar. What we're dealing with now is the timing. And progress is being made. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to be realistic here. I want to touch on some of the recent statements that have been made, either by Sudani, the CBI, or both. They're taking measures to strengthen the dinar. They're lifting restrictions on money transfers. They're implementing the electronic payment system. They're releasing the Visa and MasterCards for ATM use and point of sale. None of that makes sense when coupled with the outlawing the use of the U.S. dollar if they're going to remain in a program rate. So that's progress. Then we see growth in the private sector banking. Why would this be important? Well, we see the collection of the provisional 3-0 notes. They're now able to track the usage of the IQD. The new accounts that people are flooding to establish will facilitate the HCL payments, along with the payment of salaries and retirement. And, of course, utilizing the electronic platform means that they will not be transacting in hard dollars. They're going to be able to stop a lot of the theft of the dinar. So once again, this specifically points to the fact that Iraq is transitioning from the chaos that existed under Saddam Hussein and moving into a sovereign, modern, functional nation with a modern, functioning system that can interact internationally. Once again, this is progress. We've also seen growth in the Baghdadi Stock Exchange, which is now on NASDAQ, basically selling penny stocks, and that's what happens when you have newer companies or companies that people are not familiar with. They're transitioning again from a centralized totalitarian form of system to a decentralized, more free market system. And so their stock market's doing very, very well, which means international dollars are pouring into Iraq to help facilitate all of the things that they want to do. Then, of course, there's also the issue of the currency swaps. Now, again, the Iraqi dinar is not on the Forex. It's not an internationally traded currency per se. But why are other countries engaging in currency swaps with Iraq? Well, long term, it's because they believe or they know for a fact that the Iraqi dinar is going to be an extremely valuable currency, and of course they want to hold that currency in their reserve. The other issue is these countries are starting to develop relationships with Iraq. So by engaging in these swaps, they're able to purchase Iraqi goods and services with the Iraqi dinar, and Iraq will have that country's currency in order to purchase goods and services from that country, whether that country's China, Turkey, even Iran, the United States. So all of that is progress. All of this is moving in the right direction. For a while there, I really was of the view that they might get all of this done this month. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I would certainly like to be proven wrong. But again, all of the things that I've just outlined here make it clear that Iraq will not be able to continue to function with a program rate. And the Iraqi citizens need purchasing power. They cannot utilize the U.S. dollar for the rudimentary purchase of goods and services in country. And the citizens of Iraq, after what they've been through the last 20 years, are simply and rightfully not going to stand for that. So their currency is going to have purchase power. If you watch what's going on, even though it's incrementally done, the dinar is gaining value slowly, and of course the U.S. dollar is losing value. So there's not much more to say with regard to that. What I do want to touch on, though, very briefly, again, because we're getting swamped with calls, and we want to assist everyone in every way that we can. I did want to touch on our Family Asset Protection Trust package. Very briefly, give you a little summary of why it would be a good idea to contact us to get our initial no-obligation package. By establishing this Family Asset Protection Trust package, you're going to preserve your privacy and your anonymity, despite the government's attempts to deny you same. You're going to be able to avoid IRS scrutiny by operating your financial transactions through the trust. You're going to be able to gift things to family and friends and at the same time control those things. You're going to be able to avoid the cost and delay of probate and the federal estate tax when it's time for your estate to be passed on to heirs. And you've made it virtually impossible for anyone to successfully sue you. As a matter of fact, the way this trust is structured, individuals, once they try to involve you in litigation, will quickly learn that the cost and the time involved would be so prohibitive that they simply are going to walk away. And, of course, there will be no frivolous lawsuits. Now, for individuals of substantial wealth, this is important. Those of us that have currencies will one day be individuals of substantial wealth. It's not an if question. It's just a when question. And we're sort of in a little bit of a holding pattern right now, but I think things are going to be moving quickly. Again, this could happen in January. In my opinion, I think it's going to be a little bit deferred. It's certainly, in my opinion, going to happen in 2024, and it's certainly going to happen early in the year, but I just don't think at this point that it will happen in January. But I want to mention one other thing those of us American citizens have experienced in this country and why it's important for every American to consider establishing a family asset protection trust package. Because this bunch in Washington, in my opinion, are not patriots. They're not even honorable people. They're corrupt, they're liars, and they're thieves. We hear all this talk about saving our democracy. And, of course, they're using a little trick, neurolinguistic trick. They say our, and we assume they mean all of us, but they don't mean all of us. They mean the group that's basically trying to fundamentally transform this country. They're trying to transition from the constitutional republic that we are to a social one-party rule democracy. That's why we see all of the election interference. We see all of the indictments. We see all of the civil suits. We see people trying to kick candidates off ballots because they know that candidate is going to stop what they're trying to do. But this bunch that's trying to save our democracy, I'm going to give you a short list of the things that they want to do. Again, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. So when they say our democracy, they're talking about what they're trying to create, not what exists. Here's a short list of the things they want to do. They want to stack the Supreme Court. They want to end the Electoral College. They want to end the Senate filibuster. And they want to either amend or repeal the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, and the 10th Amendment. First Amendment's our right to free speech. Who's doing all the censoring? The left. The Second Amendment, your right to keep and bear arms. Keep means to possess, bear means to carry. They want to repeal the Second Amendment. Who's that? The left. These people that want to save our democracy. The Fourth Amendment, your right to privacy in all your personal papers, particularly your family asset protection trust package, which takes the Fourth Amendment to a whole nother level. The Fifth Amendment, your right to due process. When they try to suspend the First, Second, and Fourth Amendments, they're telling you right there they don't think you're entitled to due process. And the 10th Amendment, which basically means that anything that is not specifically delegated to the federal government falls to the states and the people. And, of course, they want to centralize all of that. I don't think they're going to be successful in all of this. I think the election that's coming up is going to be a pivotal election and could be a very bad omen for this country long term. I think it's going to be a very difficult year for all of us. But I think one of the things that we can do is establish this family asset protection trust package, whether you have currencies or not. If you are an American citizen, you're entitled to these rights. First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, and 10th Amendments. And those first 10 amendments comprise what we refer to as the Bill of Rights. The gentleman that wrote the Constitution of the United States marinated in tyranny. They understood how it worked. They understood who these people were. They were part of the Enlightenment. They were geniuses. They risked their life to create this document in this country. And one of the things you can do to preserve these rights is to establish a trust which will make it virtually impossible for them to deny you these rights. Add to that the fact that if you are a holder of these currencies, and I'm talking about more than the dinar, there are other currencies involved, you will in the not-too-distant future, in my opinion, be a person of substantial means. All the more reason you're going to need to protect it from them, because it's not just that they want it, they don't want you to have it. And this trust makes sure that your rights are preserved, and they can't take it without good reason. So I know this is a shorter call. I'm not going to be doing a Q&A because I have so many calls that I have to return and so many things that I have to take care of, and so I'm going to move on to that. But if the things we've discussed here on this call are of interest to you, I hope you will contact us to get our initial no-obligation package. It does contain everything you need if you wish to proceed, but you're under no obligation to do so. You can review the package. It has a lot of information about us, about the currencies, about our trusts. Be happy to assist you in every way. Again, if you wish to proceed, everything you need is included in the package. You can certainly go to our website if you want to learn a little bit more about us. That's Trusts with an S, Unlimited LLC.com. If you'd like to order one of our trust packages, you can either do that by email or phone. Our email address is trusts with an S, Unlimited LLC at gmail.com. And our phone service is 307-274-4122. Again, contact us by email or phone. We'll be happy to assist you, get our initial package out to you. You can review the package, contact us if you have any questions. We'll be happy to assist you. There will be no consultation fee. If you wish to proceed, everything you need is in the package. Once we receive that information, ordinarily we get the trusts out in about 3 to 5 days. It's been more like 5 to 10 days now, simply because of the number of requests that we've gotten. But this is going to be a very eventful year. It's not going to be all good either. Things are going on in this country that in my 70-plus years, I've never seen before. And I'm worried more for my children and my grandchildren than I am for myself. But hopefully we'll be able to push through this the way we have. We went through a revolution. We went through a civil war. We went through 2 world wars, a major depression. And it almost feels as though what we're going through right now is a second revolution. I think we're going to prevail. I think we're going to be successful in the end, but I think it's going to be a painful process and unfortunately a necessary process. But one of the things you can do, whether you have currencies or not, is utilize the protections that are there for you if you have the good sense to take advantage of them. Now, our next call is scheduled next Wednesday. Certainly, if something of a dramatic nature were to happen before then, we will try to get out an emergency email and schedule an emergency conference call. But failing that, we'll be back next Wednesday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Thanks again for listening, and have a great week, everyone. And God bless America.